7:15, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting of the Board of Supervisors for September 22nd, 2025. You'll probably notice that Chair DeMotts isn't sitting in this chair tonight. She is away, and also Supervisor Kitts and Supervisor Bone are also away, but we do have a quorum, so we will continue the meeting and be able to vote. Next item up is our invocation and pledge, and we will be led by our county administrator.
Please stand for a moment of silence and then join me as I lead us in the pledge. Let us pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right, first item up presentations is OAA activity.
Scott's got a presentation about our OAA activity. He's going to give a little bit of background and then tell you what we're planning for the current year. Your microphone's off, I think.
Off. How about now? Is that better?
Good.
All right. So we wanted to bring some updates to you on the Opioid Abatement Authority, the funding, and some of the activities that we've been involved in recently. And so just a little bit of history and a reminder. The Opioid Abatement Authority was established in 2021 by the General Assembly to abate and remediate the opioid epidemic in the Commonwealth and to streamline payments of settlement funds to Virginia from prescription opioid manufacturers and the companies in the prescription and opioid distribution network. And it's used to assist individuals suffering from opioid use disorders and co-occurring substances and mental illness. And it also addresses the full range of services, providing education about substance use, prevention, treatment, and recovery supports. There we go. Then is established also Virginia's Memorandum of Understanding through the Office of the Attorney General of Virginia. The MOU established an allocation plan for the opioid settlements. So the total amount of funds that have been awarded to date is approximately $101 million. The authority has developed an academy and a toolkit that provides training and technical assistance with examples of effective opioid abatement programs for other localities to use as templates and as examples. The authority procured, customized, and launched a web-based grants and financial management platform that our staff and the ecosystem staff uses at the Regional Commission to process applications for the grant. A brief background on the distribution of funds: 30% of the opioid abatement funding goes directly to cities and counties, 15% goes directly to the Commonwealth, and 55% is deposited to the Opioid Abatement Authority, then which that funding can then be granted through the application and award process to city and county partnerships and providers, such as the New River Valley Recovery Ecosystem. And we do that through the Regional Commission, Holly Lesko and her staff, who have spoken with you before, and in coordination with them, the ecosystem works to address the impacts of substance use disorder in our region by focusing on prevention, treatment, recovery, and harm reduction, and providing oversight and integration across those measures. Also addressing the impacts of addictions and the underlying factors that create addiction risks to individuals and communities. And the localities in the ecosystem include Floyd, Giles, Montgomery, and Pulaski counties, as well as the city of Radford. So there are providers who apply for funding, and those providers include those seen on the screen, from NRVCS to the New River Valley Senior Services. And again, this is through a grant process that is reviewed by our staff and the Regional Commission staff on an annual basis. And this is the third year that we have been, third year that has been awarded. We've had an award for 3 years. So the amount of funding that has come to the ecosystem project is approximately $8.4 million. $1.4 million of that has been toward Montgomery County, and we have typically focused on recovery court and this year a new application for the STAR program, which stands for the Support and Treatment for Adolescent Recovery. They provide case management and skill building, and they also address concerns related to parenting for both biological and foster parents, caregivers, as well as natural and paid support. It serves individuals between the ages of 12 and 21 who have received a referral for treatment of substance use by the juvenile justice, behavioral health, school, or child welfare system. And I mentioned briefly a moment ago about Montgomery County serving as the fiscal agent. Our staff works closely with the Regional Commission staff on the review of those requests on an annual basis. We receive invoices and documentation from the 9 providers and 4 other localities. We hold all the grant funds and distribute payments. We ensure that partners are following the appropriate procurement policies, and we provide guidance to fiscal staff of providers and of other localities. We have participated in several site visits in regards to open houses and grand openings. In July, we visited Floyd, their Rooted in Recovery Peer Center. It's a facility dedicated to promoting the recovery and reducing the stigma that surrounds substance use disorders and mental health issues within the community. In Giles, on August the 8th, they had their grand opening for what they call their Day One Center. They focus on fitness and wellness as a way to provide structured physical activities to promote overall health, reduce stress, and support a sober lifestyle. In that facility, they also have health department services. They'll have on-site access with essential health services, including screenings, education, and preventative care. They'll have drop-in support, and they will have a faith-based partnership where individuals can engage in a personalized accountability program that fosters spiritual and mental growth. And most recently in August, we visited the Navigation Center in Harrisonburg, Virginia. It's a facility that is focused on homelessness in the city of Harrisonburg and the surrounding county. It was a Presbyterian home, and they added on to it, and they actually used ARPA money to fund it and some funding from their general fund. And again, they focus on homelessness, and it's used as an emergency shelter for adults and drop-in center for adults experiencing homelessness, and helps them work towards self-sufficiency. And then in October, we'll be visiting the NRVCS. They have a new Life Recovery Center in Fairlawn, which is a residential treatment facility for adults living with substance use disorders. And then in November, we'll see the Community Collaboration Center, which is currently under construction in Dublin, which will house Pulaski County's Office of Prevention and Recovery. They develop, implement, and support programming to reduce substance misuse, promote recovery, and encourage community collaboration around recovery and prevention efforts. And with that, that's what I have for you tonight.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Did you want to take questions?
If you would like to ask questions, I will take them, and if I don't know the answers, I'll certainly find them out and get back to you.
Well, I probably do have a few, but I definitely know you probably couldn't answer them because your depth of involvement with the whole thing. But is there any questions that you all would like to ask? None? No? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Free to roam. All right, next up we have public address. And we have only one person signed up for public address. That's Mr. Wayman Pack. And we ask that you give us your name and where you're from in the county. Welcome, sir.
Yes. Good evening, Board. My name is Wayman Pack, and I live on Piney Woods Road in Reiner. And this will be the last time for this election cycle that I'll continue to beat this dead horse. This information I'm about to give you was gathered from the Virginia Department of Elections website today. The first day of early in-person voting for the Virginia general election in 2025 was Friday, September the 19th, 2025. Virginia law, early voting period, Friday, September 19th through Saturday, November 1st. The election day is Tuesday, November 4th. Voter registration offices will be open for early voting on Saturday, October 25th, 2025. You may apply for a ballot to be mailed to you through 5 p.m. Friday, October 24th, 2025, and your request must be received by your local registrar's office by 5 p.m. This past Friday was the first of the 45 days prior to the election that anyone in Virginia would be eligible to vote. Today, September the 22nd, the first weekday since then, my wife and I received our ballots in the mail. We now have until November 1st to mail our marked ballots to the registrar's office. Once again, I implore any and everyone that says they will only be satisfied with additional early voting locations be open to serve them to consider the mail-in option and lessen the strain put on the registrar and her staff. In conclusion, citizens eligible to vote who may have limited or even no mobility can safely exercise their rights from the comfort of their own homes. Additional early satellite locations are of little use to that segment of the population. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, we don't have anyone else signed up to speak, but if there's anybody out there that would like to come forward and speak, you would have 4 minutes. Seeing no one, I'm going to go ahead and close public address. Next up is addendum. Do we have any?
We do
No
not.
addendum. All right. Next is into work session. Is there a motion to go into work session?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Madam Secretary?
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Vice Chair Vizierkowski?
Aye.
4 ayes.
All right. Planning and zoning fees.
Chris has a little bit of information he's going to share with
Kick
you
down.
tonight.
Great, thank you. In your packet is a draft ordinance that shows all the fees struck through and then all the new fees. And I'll touch on those and kind of give a little more explanation, and then we would be happy to answer any questions specifically. But the main focus, we reviewed all of our planning and zoning fees, was really to improve customer service and how our fee structure is communicated and collected. Go ahead.
Chris, if I could just interrupt, can we put that on the screen? Is that any way to do that?
Yeah. Janet's, under new business, item B,
Click on it?
has the
Great.
attachment.
Just so everybody can
Yeah, that'd
Look
be
at
good.
it.
Thank you for doing that.
go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. So while she's pulling that up.
Oh, it is in the work session part, too.
Yeah,
Oh, is
on the
it?
agenda.
I don't know if it'll come up. Sorry, guys.
It's all right. Well, while she does that, then the fee schedule, our attempt is to try to simplify it, make it much more straightforward for the applicants. The current system is relatively complex for application things. It's not a hard thing to figure out, but for applications, it requires staff. You really don't know until staff figures it out for you with a base fee and a acreage and a technology fee. So there's like several parts that all go into it. So our attempt is just make it much simpler and basically a one flat fee. We also recognize it doesn't matter if you have a 10-acre site or a 50-acre site. It's the same process that we have to walk through for most everything. So it's not like, the amount of work that we have to do necessarily changes that much. So with that, and Jen has them pulled up, so the initial are the strike-throughs, and if you scroll down, you'll just see the new stuff, and I'll touch on, but, and if there's a way maybe to zoom in, because you can't read it otherwise, but. So some of the key changes under special use permits, there was a specific request from Supervisor King, and the board asked us to move forward on it. Was we require special use permits for a manufactured home in a residential district. That current fee is $500 plus the advertising for public hearings. So our proposal is to just eliminate the fee. We don't have a lot of applications. They're really not that complicated to work through, but it just takes time. And $500 is a lot of money really for anybody. But in that case, what we would just ask is that they just pay the advertising fee, and that's the direct cost that the county incurs. We've also changed how we advertise with the vendor, with the certain newspaper. That's much cheaper than it used to be. So you're now talking, $100, $200 at the very most kind of thing, rather than it could have been $700, $800, $900 in the past or currently. So that was one key change. The second, for special use permits, we did acknowledge solar facilities and inert fill sites. That's kind of like, we say it's a landfill, but it's not like where our trash goes. And we've had several applications recently. They require a lot of evaluation. So those, that fee, corresponds with solar facilities are similar to cell towers at $2,500, and a landfill extractive industry is at $1,250. Those just require significantly more. Those didn't change, but the solar facility we added in there as well. Unless I read that wrong. Yeah, the solar facility we did, sorry. Extractive industry didn't change. Site plans and site reviews. Currently, everything's the same, and there's a lot of times where somebody has a site plan that doesn't require land disturbance and significant engineering. So recognizing that, we have a minor site plan fee just to kind of help reduce the costs. So that was one, $150 rather than $400. And then we also, the state code changed and requires at a third review, additional work to be done. So we've added a additional review fee. So when you hit 3, things will start to cost more. You're using a little more staff time, and we added that. But that is tied to the state code change that mandates site plans to be done in a certain amount of time. Then subdivision review, we actually eliminated a preliminary review fee because it's really already part of the major subdivision process. So I think really we tried to eliminate some fees, make it simpler, recognize just a couple, like a solar facility requires a lot more time from staff and maybe others. So when it comes down to what we're asking is your fee's going to be straightforward, a single number, and the applicant will know what that is in advance when they apply. A little foreshadowing, because we also have other fees that are being looked at, but engineering, erosion and sediment control, stormwater, as well as building permits. We'll bring those back to you probably in another, probably in 2 months. They're working on those, and they're kind of waiting on the state because there are certain fee amounts that are dictated by the state, so we want to just incorporate all that and bring that to you once. And part of that too, on our time frame, is to make sure everything's really kind of buttoned up as we're revising and updating our land development software. ultimately, you'll be able to do all this online. Applicants will be able to apply for building permits, submit everything electronically, and so those just have to be all finalized before we implement that software program. And then lastly, I would just say our fees and our fee structure is not intended in none of these to raise revenue, increase our revenue. We're trying to make it simpler, make it more understandable, meet state code fee changes, and just trying to pay attention to what our neighbors do as well. We're usually not by any means the highest, and I think we feel comfortable with not being the highest. And then lastly, as a work session, the action for you this evening would be to schedule a public hearing at your October 27th meeting to solicit any input that the public or engineers, the development community may have. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions? Go ahead, Supervisor King.
I appreciate you putting that on there about the manufactured home. And I know you're not supposed to call them trailers, but that's what you're talking about, right?
That is what I'm talking about, but yes, we try really hard not to refer to them that way.
Yeah.
But yes, the street lingo is trailers or mobile homes.
Right.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
Well, you answered my first one, which was how do our fees compare to our neighbors and other similar localities. So thank you. My only other question is, I guess, with regard to our menu or the scope of things that we assess fees for. Like, are these all pretty standard things that all have to are kind of dictated by state?
Yes.
Code.
So these are all things that either through our code or through the state code are mandated type of site plans, subdivision plats, building permit, things you have to get permits for, land disturbance permits, erosion and sediment control, which again, those will come. But yeah, these are all like normal,
Customary, required.
Government development, applications. There are others that we could choose to do, and we so far have chosen not to. Some of our neighbors do have some additional permits and fees above ours, but we have not found it necessary to necessarily either increase revenue, which is primarily what they come from, or from a permit standpoint, control certain things.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think to the extent that we are being good stewards and, protecting our environmental resources, but also making it as easy as possible for folks to develop, I think, within limits. That's a good way to do things. Thank you.
Thanks.
Supervisor Biggs?
I agree with Supervisor Grafsky on making it easier in the customer service part. I just had one question, how are the developers, do they follow this? Are they going to know if they have any concerns to come when we have the public hearing?
Yeah, that's a great question. We actually met with the Home Builders Association.
Okay.
We'll also meet several months ago. Actually, it was the week after I fell and got hurt, so it was in February. So I do know that date. And we also have a meeting scheduled with them, the Home Builders Association, in November. So we'll make sure that they know. Now that'll be kind of after the fact, but we notify them, and we'll make sure that this draft gets into them, and we have a good relationship
Yeah,
with them.
and they're good about getting the word out.
They do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
they're really good.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, that bring any other questions up? Go ahead.
I know we're talking about fees, and that includes them little yard signs you put out for public hearings and things. Is that right?
The fees associated
With all these permits
with
and
these that
stuff.
would have a public hearing, that cost is still on the applicant.
That's what's, okay. Why I bring that up, in a planning commission meeting, I had several neighbors from other neighborhoods that on the cul-de-sac, when it goes around and something on the end is happening, well, the sign's not out here on this end, so the neighbors that lives up here, they don't know what's going on back there.
Right.
And they was wanting to see if we couldn't move a sign up next to the beginning of it.
Yeah, we can absolutely look at it. It makes a lot of logical sense. If we have to post the property that's up for, but to your point, like if it's at the end of the cul-de-sac, you don't know.
Yeah, the
We can
rest of the
take-
neighbors don't know about it.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly have to meet the minimum. We can always go above and beyond, and if, we'll take a look and see ways to help with that.
All right, thank you.
All right, any others? All right, well, thank you, Chris. This is something that I'm sure everybody will appreciate. Whenever you simplify something, it always makes it easier. So thank you very much. Is there a motion to come out of work session?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Madam Secretary?
Mr. King,
Aye.
Ms. Biggs, Mr. Grafsky,
Aye.
Vice Chair Fizikowski,
Aye.
4 ayes.
All right, next up is our items of consent. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on any items? Hearing none. Madam Secretary?
Ms. Biggs.
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Vice Chair Fizikowski,
Aye.
4 ayes.
Next, we move into new business. First up is Public Schools Supplemental Appropriation, School Operating Fund.
This is an appropriation of 3 revenue sources. One is appropriating some of the Patron Endowment Fund to be used for golf expenditures as the endowment requires. Also, there's a recovered cost from insurance recovery for pupil transportation, and then some federal revenue that will be used for instruction. And Ms. Bland is here if you have further questions.
Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Madam Secretary, go ahead.
Mr. Grafsky,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Ms. Biggs,
Aye.
Vice Chair Fizikowski,
Aye.
4 ayes.
Next up is to schedule the public hearing for the planning and zoning fees that we just talked about. Is there a motion?
Motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none. Madam Secretary.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Ms. Biggs.
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky,
Aye.
Vice Chair Fizikowski,
Aye.
4 ayes.
Next up is a schedule a public hearing for tax exemption renewal on real property and exemption for the Agape Center.
I can talk about the next 4 at one time if you'd like. The
that'd be
first
good.
2 are renewals of properties that are currently considered tax exempt by this board, and then the second 2 are new requests. They all meet the standard for the request, and the public hearing would be held at the next board meeting. So we would have more of a presentation at that meeting. Did I
Okay.
leave anything out, Marty?
So we don't want to mention any differences that have occurred?
With the Agape, they did request that 2 of their vehicles be exempt, which is new. But the real property, like you said, is a renewal, and that's the one on Cambria.
Okay.
They have 2 older vans, a 2007 Chevy van, 2000 Honda van that they're seeking exemption, specific exemption for those 2, and then for that renewal on the property, because as you know, it's a 3-year renewal period. And there's nothing that's changed on that property that we're aware of. They're still operating it.
Now, if I remember correctly, there is a second property that they're also asking for. Did I read that not correctly?
The only one we have is the Cambria Street. Is that the one you're thinking?
There's one that says also located on Depot Street.
Oh, you're right. You're right, yes.
I reviewed my
Yep.
notes.
Cambria is the renewal, and then Depot is a new one.
It's a new one,
Correct,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the one they got from the schools, right?
Got it.
Is that right?
Cambria Street, Depot Street is from the schools.
Yeah.
There were a couple that the exemption has expired, but they were not requested to be renewed.
Okay. Can we vote on all 4 of them at the same time?
No, we have to do it separately.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, the first one for the Agape Center, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right. Hearing none. Madam Secretary.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Ms. Biggs.
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky.
Aye.
Vice Chair Fitchikowski?
Aye.
4 ayes.
Next up would be schedule public hearing for DePaul Community Resources. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I would like, before we do vote on this, to get a lot of information about their income and stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Madam Secretary?
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Vice Chair Fitchikowski?
Aye.
4 ayes.
Next up is schedule a public hearing for Hacksburg request for tax exemption. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
What do they actually do?
Angie.
Does anybody know?
Marty,
They operate over in the Corporate Research Center at Virginia Tech. They're seeking exemption on personal property, not real estate. They don't own the real estate, so they're actually seeking exemption on some personal property and on the leasehold interest that they pay. And what I would recommend is that we don't get into the specifics, because I think we're going to do that at the next meeting, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All we're doing is scheduling the public hearing. We're giving them due process to come before the board to make their pitch, and then the board can say yay or nay.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any, we already discussed, so Madam Secretary, go ahead.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. King?
No.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Vice Chair Fitchikowski?
Aye.
Have 3 ayes, 1 no.
All right, next up is a schedule a public hearing for Valley Classical School. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
What do they do?
It's a
private school.
an organization that supports homeschool families. So homeschool families go to this, classical conversations, and they have more technical topics.
Thank you.
All right, Madam Secretary, if you go ahead.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Vice Chair Fitchikowski?
Aye.
4 ayes.
All right, next up, Fire Prevention Week, October 5th through the 11th, 2025.
Todd, go.
Motion. He didn't ask for a motion yet. I was waiting.
I thought we'd hear a little explanation, but we do it every year, so.
Second?
Is there any further discussion? Madam Secretary?
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Vice Chair Fitchikowski?
Aye.
4 ayes.
Next up, National Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or comments?
It's important.
It is. Madam Secretary, if you'll call the roll.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Vice Chair Fitchikowski?
Aye.
4 ayes.
And last but not least, National Community Planning Month, October 2025.
So moved.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
It's important too.
All right, we won't get in a debate on it, but Madam Secretary, if you'll go ahead and call the roll.
Mr. Grafsky?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Biggs?
Aye.
Vice Chair Fitchikowski?
Aye.
4 ayes.
Okay.
Next up are the reports. First up, County Attorney.
I have no report, Mr. Chair.
Well, you're going to make my goal, I think. County Administrator.
I'm going to have a long report. I'm just kidding.
Better get started.
Oh, all right. So on September 27th, which is this Saturday, we have an exciting event that's going to be held at Teal Park. We're going to dedicate the park and also celebrate the 50th anniversary for Parks and Rec. So I would like to invite all the public to come out and attend that great event. It begins at 10 o'clock in the morning, and there will be games held that day on the field. So it's an exciting time. I know Supervisor King's looking forward to that. And then you did approve the Fire Prevention Week resolution. On October 14th, our next meeting, Chief Geary will come and present Years of Service Awards for volunteers, and they will also have a special recognition event for them before the meeting. That's all I have.
All right, very good. All right, board reports. We'll go ahead and start with Supervisor Grafsky.
Oh, with me, okay. So just one thing that I wanted to bring up, this, I learned about this since our last meeting, so.
You're getting a little closer to your
Yeah,
mic.
sorry about that. So back on the 9th of this month, Governor Youngkin announced the Virginia Disaster Assistance Fund. And so this was $50 million designated by the General Assembly to supplement or provide additional financial relief to folks that had experienced losses from Hurricane Helene and then the ensuing, I think, ice storms in February. But there's a couple of advantages of this. One is that, for folks that may have had damages to secondary homes, whether they're rental homes, vacation homes, folks out at the lake, things like that, these funds are eligible or you can apply for these funds. Those types of residences are eligible. But then there's also funding for future mitigation efforts. So for folks that, experience issues with runoff, with rain, storm water management, things like that, there is opportunities to apply for funding to invest into mitigation. And I believe the regional commission is managing or is the fiscal manager for this program for our area. So there's more information on the New River Valley Regional Commission's website, nrvrc.org. So go and check that out. That's all I got.
We can also, Chris has been working on those projects as well.
Yeah, just so they can also go to the county website. There's a link and a description, but it takes them directly to the regional commission as they're managing all of that. And we also have a list through our fire and EMS department of properties that were damaged that we are aware of because we've talked to them and helped them, et cetera, through FEMA. So we're reaching out to those addresses to make sure they're aware as well.
Excellent. Thank you.
Supervisor Biggs.
Just two things. Our Workforce Development Board, I serve on the Workforce Consortium Board. I chair that, but there's also the Workforce Development Board that Mike Miller chairs. And we're still struggling a little bit with the federal funding not coming as we're used to it coming, and hoping that it is going to come so that we can continue to meet the needs of the clients that we serve as far as job training. So far, we've been able to maintain, and we sort of just have our fingers crossed that we can continue. And then I wanted to give you on the Virginia Tech Montgomery Executive Airport, I hope this continues. We've been having a lot of flights in for the football games, and that increases our fuel sales so that, we put that money, back into the budget. And like I mentioned last time, our airport director works really hard with that. So that seems to still be going well. Keep my fingers crossed for that. It's all tied to right now, that part to the football team, and it's all part of economic development. So we'll see what happens. And that's all I have.
So you're saying if the football team wins more, then the airport would do better. Okay.
We want to keep those planes flying in. And they come from both, they come from the Virginia Tech fan base, but also the opponent's fan base. So, yeah, we want to keep them coming in.
Do something about that. Supervisor King.
Don't have no report, but thank you, Angie, for bringing up about Auburn Teal Park from 10 to 1. And when you get ready to leave there, if you're hungry, Reiner Volunteer Fire Department is having their annual shrimp or chicken tender dinner from 2 to 6. Thank you.
Okay, nobody will go hungry that day. All right, I do not have anything on my report, so I think, it's 8 o'clock yet. This meeting's adjourned. New record.